there was no plan B. It had to work. There was no alternative. And so everything that could be brought to bear was brought to bear from the 6th of June 1944 onwards, and there could be no stopping it, or there would be disaster for the world. And it's a moment, it was a time of such significance, because without that effort we wouldn't be having this conversation now, and the world would be a wholly different and darker place. We likely wouldn't be here. And I find that intensely moving, and I find it especially moving because what has happened in the last couple of years is another attempt at a totalitarian takeover, not just of Europe but of the entire world. What we're seeing at the moment is nothing less than an attempt to take over, to undo the freedoms, to replace the freedoms with control, and there's no alternative now but to push back against it. And the freedom that we have had, the freedom that a few generations have had and that we now have, are the product of the sacrifice of the thousands who fought and died in the Second World War. And the freedom that we have is not ours, it's theirs. And they gave their everything. And the freedom that we have is their freedom. The lives that we live are the lives that they gave up so that we could have what we have had. And that freedom, which was their freedom, is not ours. It's to be handed on. The generations yet to be born are entitled to know that freedom. And if we don't do something now to turn back the tide of authoritarianism and totalitarianism that is spreading, that worldwide attempt to undo the freedom and the liberty and the rights of ordinary people, if we don't do something about it now, then the future generations will not have that. And that will mean that all those years after the fact, those men and boys who died will have died in vain, because their sacrifice meant that they gave everything, that we could have everything, and it's up to us to hand that everything on, and not to watch it go in our lifetimes. And so I feel that profoundly strongly, and I think that this year of all years we should pay attention to what D-Day actually means, what D-Day stands for. Never mind what the initial D stands for. What D-Day stands for is the determination of ordinary people to hand a free world on to the generations as yet unborn.